Hi there everybody, and welcome to another video. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And if you're a regular viewer, thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching and commenting on these videos. Today we're going to look at some photographs that someone has sent in and do a position review. And if you have your own photos that you'd like to have reviewed, please send me an email with a couple of photos from the side, thistleridge@hotmail.com. and I'll help you out with that. So let's get started and look at these photographs. These photos are from Laura, and they show her going over a jump. Looks like a schooling session. There's a couple of things that kind of stood out for me right at the very beginning that I want to address even before I get into the position. One is she doesn't have a noseband on the horse. Why do you think she doesn't have a noseband on the horse? Just curious. You don't see that very often, but I just wonder, do you wonder why she doesn't have a noseband on the horse? So what do you think? Why do you think she doesn't have a noseband on that horse? And maybe Laura can comment as well, why don't you have a noseband on that horse? Now let's take a look at her riding, okay? So generally speaking, right off the bat, you look great. I really like the way you're staying with your horse. You're not interfering. Very confident up there. You look really solid. Your leg is secure. Generally speaking, you look great. Now let's get into some details on why you look so great. First thing is your eyes. Your eyes are really important when you're riding. And I really like the way this rider's got her eyes up, looks like she's looking for the next jump. She's focused and knows where she's going. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. If you're riding a bicycle and your eyes are down, you're going to go smacking into something. But if you keep your head up, it keeps the rest of your body balanced. Even as I'm talking about it, look at me, I'm sitting up straighter because I'm thinking about if my head is in balance with the rest of me looking up, then the rest of my body is in balance. If I look down, I slouch, I'm not in balance, and I can't see where I'm going. Keep your eyes up. I really like the way this rider's keeping her eyes up, looking forward. Are you looking for the next jump? Looks like you're looking forward to the next jump. Having your head up helps with keeping your back flat. And you can see this rider here, she's got a beautiful flat back. Her back is snug, tight, in balance with the horse. Excellent job. Your lower leg and heel. Love the way your heel is down in this picture. Your leg looks really secure. It does look like you're pinching a bit with. Looks like your lower leg is a little bit away from the horse. It's a bit obstructed by the jump standard, but it's in a good place and looks secure. Your knees. Remember when I said that your lower leg, it looks like it's away from the horse a little bit? Well, this is the reason why. It looks like you're pinching with your knees, and it's probably because you're riding over top of a jump and you're securing your leg on. Try to relax your knees so the weight comes down into your heel and your lower leg comes around the horse rather than pinching with your knees, because that makes your lower leg comes away from the horse. Relax your lower leg, have a secure feel from your thighs, knees, and calves all the way around the horse so the weight can come down into your heels and keep you in balance. It looks like your knees acting like a pivot, and that means you're pinching with your knees and your upper body's going forward and your lower leg's slipping back a bit. We'd like to see a straight line, shoulder, knee, toe. And you have a straight line, shoulder, knee, toe, but it's a little bit in front of the vertical. We'd like to see your seat over top of the seat of the saddle rather than over the pommel of the saddle. You've got a lovely position. Just like to tweak it a little bit, bring your shoulders up more to be in line over top of your knees so you're not over top of the horse's shoulders so much. The other thing I noticed is that she's riding with a tank top on. Does your stable have a dress code for when you're taking lessons or schooling or riding at the barn? Maybe she's at her own place. I know that some stables require that you wear a t-shirt or even a shirt with a collar when you're out riding, and I'm wondering how you feel about this rider wearing a tank top. Now, if you're going to a horse show and you're doing a warm-up at a horse show, appropriate attire is required, and I'm not sure that this would qualify as appropriate attire. Your hands and your release. I'm trying to see if your hands are pushed on the horse's neck or if you have a floating release. It's a little bit hard to tell. If I look a little closer, it looks like your hands are floating. It means they're not touching the horse's neck. And we'd like to have your hands pressed into the horse's neck. You've got a nice crest release going on there. If you're in an equitation class, the judge would like to see a little bit more of a loopy rein, and make sure that your hands are following the horse's mouth. It's a little bit hard to tell them because it's a snapshot of your ride, but it looks like you have a good hold on the horse's mouth because you can see the corners of his mouth being pulled back a little bit. We'd like to see the reins following and your hands following the horse's mouth. Now I think this can be all fixed a little bit by relaxing your knees, letting the weight come down in your heel, keeping your seat over the seat of the saddle, and opening up your upper body so you're not horizontal, but you're a little bit more upright. Not a whole lot, but right now you are, let's say, 50 degrees, and we'd like for you to be more like 40 degrees, and that will help open up your hands so that you can allow more width towards the horse's mouth. So for me, your body's too far forward, and that's getting your elbows bent and not allowing the horse to stretch out. And maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe you're going to be doing a turn right after, or maybe this horse likes to take off with you. I don't know, but all I can see in this snapshot is that I'd like to see your upper body back a little bit more to open up your elbows and follow with the horse's mouth. So there's just a little bit of not so much tension in the reins. If you want to improve your riding training, win more ribbons at your next horse show, excellent. Love to hear from you. Send me an email, thistleridge@hotmail.com. We've got lots of exercises. Check out these videos here. There's some exercises that you can do to help improve your riding. It looks like you have a crop with the horse, and actually it's not a crop, it's a whip. And this is a dressage whip. Check your rules regarding the length of whip crop that you are allowed to have. This is not a permitted whip to have when jumping over jumps in a horse show situation. There are restrictions on how long that whip can be, how long your crop can be in horse show situations. So check your rules to make sure you're within the guidelines if you're going to ride with this crop, this whip, at a horse show. It's not permitted. You're allowed to use a dressage whip on the flat in the warm-up for the hunter jumpers, but not over fences in the hunter jumpers. And here's another thing, this is kind of a pet peeve of mine, is that there are jump cups left on the jump standards near where you are jumping, or possibly even where you are jumping. Remove the jump cups off of the jump standards as a safety precaution. If your horse trips, shies, bolts, does something weird, and you fall, you don't want to be hitting those jumps. They are the breakaway cups, which is great, and they're plastic, but remove the cups just to avoid any injury to yourself or to your horse. I'd like to see this rider working on the flat in her jumping position, at the trot, over trot rails, over cavaletti, over smaller jumps to allow her to relax her knee and get the weight down into her heels. Here's some more ideas on exercises that you can do. Would you like to have a position review or some comments on your riding? Send me an email, thistleridge@mail.com. And you know, I was thinking, what do you think about going live and doing some of these reviews live? How would you guys like to watch a live video? Thanks now, bye! Looks like it looks like eyes to me is one of the most, is a fountain. We're gonna get that onto the, we're gonna get that on, we're gonna review a, what's that? What's that? Let me just see what we're going on here. Yeah.